All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back, and welcome back to the last session of the chapter 3, which is vocabulary. And how are you all? How was yesterday's session? I hope the concepts were clear to you and you got a chance to go back and practice some and just clarify your concepts even more with the practice. Did you? I see a few students have joined today. Mm, hmm. Okay, so there's some more students joining in. All right, Pranjali, I have looked at your query. I will take this up towards the end of the class, not right now, because this is from chapter number 2. So I will take this up after I'm done with chapter number 3 completely. Okay, other than that, is there any problem with the chapter number 3? Is there anyone who has any doubts related to chapter number 3 first? Because we're doing that right now. Let's be in the continuity. Let's not distract ourselves and confuse ourselves. So I believe I'll be able to finish everything by 3:30 today. So half an hour will be left and we can take up the doubt sessions, and in case you want me to explain any topic again, I'll take that up, promise. So chapter number 3, so good so far. The doubts, there's no doubt, topics are clear to you. So shall we begin with the next topic? Okay. So yesterday we discussed about the loan words. We discussed about the root words, connotations, and we discussed about how vocabulary is important for us. I think I forgot to mention this yesterday, and I'll just mention it right now. Having a good vocabulary helps you in building your confidence, right? So confidence is one thing, right? And another thing is to confidence in writing, speaking, listening, reading. Vocabulary helps you in your every. I think everyday vocabulary helps you, no matter you are doing a business or you are having a conversation at home. Vocabulary helps you everywhere, and knowledge of grammar and language helps you everywhere. So this is not just limited to Shubham, how to learn new words. Shubham, do you have Subhash, sorry, do you have problems with root of words? Okay. No, Abhishek, I cannot give you 10 minutes break. That's not the part of the protocol. So 10 minutes break is not allowed. And today we just have one session. I'll finish quickly. Don't worry. Yes, Neha, I can explain you denotations. So denotation is basically the literal meaning of any word. Connotations is the suggested meaning or the emotional meaning of any word. But the literal meaning of anything, literal meaning, by literal meaning we mean when you look up a dictionary, the meaning that is mentioned in the dictionary of any word, that is denotation. Okay. Yes, Manik, if you've gone through the schedule, yes, we will finish the chapter number 3 today. Okay, Sneha, I hope your doubts are clear. Subhash, I'll just take up root of words. Subhash, Shubham, sorry. Shubham, new words. I told you yesterday also, if you want to learn new words, you have to read, listen to podcast. Anytime you learn a new word, try to use it in your conversation on that day or day after, so that you imbibe that new word, and that the use of new word becomes natural to you. Okay, so reading helps you a lot, listening helps you a lot. You can listen to the podcast, you can listen to anybody's interview, you can also listen to audiobooks. There's so many audiobooks available, and you can listen to news also, you can watch news, you can watch some good web series or good movies, wherein you feel that the language will be appropriate, not the casual language. So you have to be very, conscious about choosing the shows that you watch to improve your English. Not every show or every movie will help you, but some movies will. Maybe some historical movies, or maybe some movies that are related to some, national issue or social issue that can help you. Something to do with environment. So there, the language is quite formal, and the use of language is formal. The use of words is formal, right? So this is how you can learn. After you have read, you have heard, or you have learned new words, my last suggestion was to start writing a journal for yourself. One, it will help you to express yourself. You can note down how your day was, how you felt about it. Second is, you can, while you're writing, you can try to use the new words that you have learned, so that it gets into flow. And you, while you're writing for yourself, you can actually write any word or use any word without hesitation, right? You might feel hesitant to use a new word with somebody else, when you're having a conversation, and because you do not have confidence of using any particular word, you don't use the word, and you don't learn about new word, and you don't improve your vocabulary, right? But if you're writing, and you can always incorporate those new words that you have learned without hesitation, nobody is coming to read your journal. Once you have written, go back, read what you have written, see if you have used the words according to the context. Have you used the words perfectly? Is it fitting into the context? Is the meaning appropriate? So you have to check the connotations also there. The kind of word that you have used, what is the connotation, does it fit into the your feeling or your expression or whatever you're trying to express. So that writing will definitely help. This is why, if you noticed, every one of you, your teachers used to emphasize on writing new words, and writing things for yourself. Write, so that when you write, you get better and you improve yourself. All right. So I have answered your questions, Shubham. But to Kiran, if you want me to take revision classes after completion of respective schedule, I'll try. If everyone wants that, I will speak to the concerned person. If I can arrange for a revision class for you all, I'll definitely do. But this is only if everybody wants that. So if everybody wants a revision class after the entire this course, BCAR course is finished, we can definitely do that. Mohan, basically the words that are specific to any trade, any profession, right? For example, some medical terms, something as simple as nasal. Okay. Now nasal is usually used by doctors when you go and you have a flu or you have a cold. When you go to a doctor, if you have seen in the prescription, doctors make note on the left side what is the symptom and what is the problem, what is their diagnosis, right? So they write it in their own technical language, that is a jargon. You take that prescription to any other doctor, or even the chemist shop, even the pharmacy, those people understand what it means. But as a lay person, we might not understand what it means. There are so many technical words that they use, right? Similarly, lawyers have their own, technical words. CAs would have their own technical words. I have heard CAs using due diligence a lot, So it means that they are checking the client, that you should do your research, and you should be aware of everything about what you're going to do. Whatever step you're going to do, please do your research before that, right? 9 to 5 job. Now, this is a jargon related to the people who are working from 9 to 5, right? So these are the jargons that are used. Uh, Akash, I'll have to check from my study material. I'll do that towards the end. Yes, Vinayak, absolutely right. Denotation of blue is the color blue, right? But connotation indicates that it represents sadness, right? So you use the word "I'm feeling Monday blues," or anyway. So the blue is related to sadness, and atom sickness also. Subhash, podcast is better. You can hear the podcast from good entrepreneurs. So there's so many. I mean, I don't want to name anyone particular, but there's so many entrepreneurs who have their own podcast. Some teachers also have their own podcast when they discuss about few technical topics. I'm sure even the CAs would have their own podcast. I mean, I've never heard any renowned CAs podcast, but I'm sure you can find that. These days, there's so many people. I mean, I know from my faculty, like faculty from my college days, they have their own podcast now on Spotify and Apple. This thing, Apple has this podcast app. I'm sure you'll find many. Usually, podcasts are good. Usually, they're good. It depends on what topic you're picking. Or TED Talks. Yes, so you have this TED Talks podcast also, where there's so many people they're sharing about their life, their experience, and all the good things that they have done. So you can check that also. Abhishek, I am really glad that you've done that. Great, great. Anshu, I didn't understand what you meant. Basically. Yes, 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 Mohawk. So when two lawyers are talking, they might use some jargon words that only they to understand the client or the layman will not understand. There are few words, but of course, jargons are a formal words. They're not casual words used. They are the technical words used by them, and those that is a part of a formal English. They are not using slangs. They're not using casual. No, no, no. It's related to their trade. The other person know what it means. Okay. Uh, Ashutosh, unfortunately, I cannot speak in Hindi. I'm sorry. Okay, let's start. Enough of query session. Now let's start with the next topic, which is prefix and suffix. It's again a very easy topic, but even every simple thing also have a objective or a perspective. There is a perspective behind it to add it in your course. Okay, so we will be starting with. Now, what is a prefix and what is a suffix? Do not confuse this with root of words. It's kind of little similar, but not exactly the same. Okay, so prefix is basically a letter or group of letters that appears at the beginning of a word and changes the word's original meaning. So you add a prefix to a word and it changes the meaning of a word completely. Okay, now what does that mean? Let's look at the whiteboard. Okay, now let's see this. You have a word satisfied. Okay, right? Now you want to say, you are not satisfied with something, right? So what prefix would you use, right? Now there is a prefix here which says dis. Dis means not or opposite of something. Now this prefix is basically added with another word to make another word. Okay. Now, satisfied is to be content with something and you're happy with something. You're like, this thing was done as per your wishes. But when I add this to it, dissatisfied, that means I am not satisfied. I have changed the meaning of the word. It becomes not satisfied. Am I clear? Yes. So this is what prefix is. Prefix is always added before the word. Okay, this is why the name is prefix. You pre means before and fix is to fix something, right? Now, generally, prefix cannot stand alone. This is not a word in itself, right? So prefix has a meaning, but this alone, a word cannot stand alone. So it needs another word to sustain. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. Let's look at another example. Pre. So pre means before. Okay. Now, if I add another word, which is paid. Paid. So if I add pre here, it becomes a word prepaid. Yes. Prepaid means something that is paid already. Yes. As soon as you order, you paid something already. I mean, you have paid it even before receiving it in your hands, which is why it is called prepaid. Prepaid phone connection, it means that you've already added money to it. You don't need any bill to, you don't want to receive any bill and then you paid. So postpaid, similarly, post means after, right? Now postpaid is when you pay it later, right? Once you use the thing, then you receive a bill and then you pay for it, right? Prepaid is that before using anything or before receiving any product, you've already paid for it, right? Now, pre and post, right? I mean, this is one example. Pre and post you can use with so many other things. Now, this post is not a letter post. No, this post means after. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. Uh, So similarly, we have suffix. Now, suffix is added after the word, not before, after. Okay, and then it also adds a meaning altogether, changes the meaning of something altogether, right? For example, able. Okay, now able is, of course, added towards the end, right? And I have a word accept. So can I add both the words together and make it acceptable? Yes, right? So this becomes acceptable, that you accept something. Okay. I have another word. So you have prefix like ness, ly. Now look at these two words. Can they survive alone? No, no. I said 90% of the chances they cannot survive alone. There are only few chances where they survive alone, right? So now here you need any word, darkness, okay, scholarly, right? Loudly, clear, yes, right? Happiness. So there's so many words that you can make from these things. Clear, yes. Any doubts that you have till now? Then I will start with the rules of prefix and suffix. Any problems that you have so far? Are you clear with what the basic pre? Sustainable. I'm glad you all are trying and making an effort and sending out your answers. Ruchi, like I just said, 90% of the time, prefix and suffix cannot stand alone. They are not a word in itself. It's a very, it's in very few cases where words are, they can be used separately. Okay. Now, why, before I start with the rules and, how you can add the prefix and suffix and how things change, right? Now, why are we doing this? This is very important from the perspective of prefix, vocabulary. If you have a knowledge of prefix and suffix, you can make words, right? You learn about different words. So basically somebody said racist, right? Now race is one word, right? Human race. And racist is another word. Racist is when somebody would you call it, discriminates anyone on the base of color, right? Now race and racist, they're two different words, right? So if you learn about prefix and suffix, you increase your vocabulary so much. Happy is one word, happiness is one word, right? I want you to make different sentences from happy and happiness quickly. Give me two sentences using happy and happiness. Happily, see, so many of you are coming up with such good things. Good. So from happy, you come to happiness, and you come to happily. Now these are different words. The use of all these words, of course, they're related to something being happy, or you're feeling happy. But the usage will be separate, completely different. I want you to experience that. Quickly make sentences using these different words that comes from happy. No, Vinayak, T is not prefix and table. No, not everything is prefix and suffix also now. Don't start dissecting all the words now. Quickly make sentences. I can't see your responses. Niyati, very good. Spreading over happiness, spreading happiness. Okay, now, fair enough. You all have sent me your responses. They are good enough. Okay. Now, how these things are different from each other. If you have seen and if you have noticed in your own sentences, you have used happy, happiness, and happily differently because they are different words. How? Happy, if I talk about parts of speech, happy is adjective. Okay. Happiness is a noun and happily is an adverb. Automatically the use of these words in a sentence will differ. They are expressing different things, right? Now, happy, somebody says, I am happy. Simple, right? Yes. Somebody gave me an example of happiness. You are my happiness. Yes, right? She ate her food happily, right? See, these things are different. So if you know about prefixes, suffix, and if you know how to use in join with any particular word appropriately, you can make so many words, right? This is just one basic example that we have given you, but you can do it differently. Yes. Now I am happy is the feeling that I'm expressing here. Yes. Happiness, it's a noun because I'm calling somebody my happiness, right? And she ate her food happily. I am modifying the ate word here. How did she eat her food? Happily, right? Clear? Yes. So this is what prefix and suffix do. Okay. As English language and English vocabulary is enormous and it grows steadily. Majority of new words introduced to a language and a great percentage of the words used to express abstract ideas are complex words. Most of the words that express the abstract ideas are complex words. These words are made simple word parts, affixes and rule. They have their own definition and can be understood in context without any exact definition. By slowly and steadily studying the most prominent uh, prefix and suffix, you can acquire a vocabulary that is far greater than the sum of its part. Right? Okay. Now let's understand the rules. Now, see, understand not every prefix and suffix can be joined with any word. Don't do that. Okay. So, if there is any word that ends with y, like ready, okay, with ready, you can add ly, right? So, whenever there is a y in the end and you have to add the suffix of ly, the y will be removed, ily will be added. Am I clear? Unlike in the case of loud plus ly, here it is used as it is. Clear? Yes. Look at in the happy. And for example, happy. And now you want to add nes, right? So this will become happiness. Am I clear? Yes. So whenever you want to add NESS or LY, right? And there is a word that ends with Y, this is how you will make a word. Clear? Yes. Okay. Now, another rule. This was rule number 1. Second rule number 2. When the suffix begins with a vowel, drop the silent E in the root word. Now, what does it mean? For example, it's care, right? This word ends with a vowel sound E, which is almost a silent E, right? Care. You want to add ing here, right? So E will be dropped and you will make the word caring. Use plus ing, using. Clear? Yes. Okay. And if you're also using able, again, you will drop the E. Use plus able. You use the word usable. Clear? Yes. So good so far. But on the other hand, whenever a word ends with CE, now this was about E, but you have to make sure about the another exception, which is exception related to this one, right? So whenever a word ends with SE or the word ends with GE and you are adding any suffix here, right? It will be as it is. Okay. Right? Nothing will be removed. You will just use it as it is. Clear? Clear? Okay. Whenever there is a word that begins with consonant, whenever a suffix starts with a consonant, keep the silent in the original word. Okay. Now, don't get confused. This is only for your extra knowledge. Normally, I'm sure you know how to use these words. Okay. So whenever a suffix begins with a consonant sound, here, these are all vowel sounds here. Okay. So it's careful. Okay. In such cases, you don't have to remove anything. You just have to add to it. Right. I'm just going to check your queries if there is any problem. Love is loving. Trade is trading. Very good, Manish. Good, Anshu. All right, great. Also, careful and careless. Can I move on? Are you guys clear with these rules? Right. So now there is another exception to this rule, which says whenever a word, like words like this, true plus this one, here again we remove the E part. If you have argument, see, basically, you will have to actually practice and learn few prefix and suffix because we make these careless mistakes, small mistakes. For example, uh, in careful, I remove E thinking that the E will be not used here. On the other hand, I use E in caring, right? So these are small mistakes when we do while writing any spellings, on any word, right? So this is argument. Now, next goes is whenever we have any word that ends with Y, change that Y into I, okay? Before any suffix beginning with. Whenever there is any suffix that doesn't that doesn't start with I. So what it means is, like for example, I have this word sunny, and I have to add er to it, right? I will remove y and it will become ier. But if the word is hurry and I am using ing, right? In this case, it will not be removed, right? Because there is already an I in the suffix. Am I clear? You can't have double I. Clear? Yes. Okay. One last rule is whenever a suffix begins with a vowel sounds means ing, ed, ing, and ed. Okay, and I have to come on, you give me the answers. How will you write the final answer? If I add ing to tan, ing to ed to, sorry, it's ing here. Okay, now what will be your response? How will you write this? Similarly, give me answers for these also. Standing good, cancelled good, preferred good. Shining good. In all of these cases, these last word, the consonants will be doubled. It's standing, regretting, cancelled, preferred. Okay. Now quickly give me for this one also. The answer is reference, benefited, and usage. Now, I want to specify one more thing in cancelled and benefited. In cancelled, even the LED would work. In benefited, only TED would also work. Now, use of double L and double T will depend on American English and British English. That is a rule. So you might come across and you see, कि ma'am, इसमें तो, here only single L T was used and here double T is used. There is a difference of American and British English also, right? So both are, correct as far as English is concerned, but you have to see you are using which specific English to use these spellings. All right. So have you checked your answers? Now let's quickly look at one small exercise, and then I will move on to the next topic. I want you to fill in these blanks using the words given in their brackets. You have to add the meaningful prefix or suffix to complete the meaning of to complete the sentence. Quickly. Done? Can we discuss the answers? Childish, very good. Unhappy, very, very good. Successful, good. Unbelievable, yes. Championship. All right. Yes, so these are the answers. I repeat myself again. It's childish, unhappy, successful, championship, and unbelievable. Clear? Okay, so shall we begin with our next topic? The team that he supported was able to win the championship. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, which is phrasal verbs. Now, phrasal verbs is basically the compound verbs made up of the verb and along with an verb, preposition along with a verb, right? Okay, it's a compound verb. Now, phrasal verbs have two part verbs, which is take off, leave out, or three part look up to and look down in. So it can, phrasal verb can be for two words and it could be for three words as well. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Let's look at these examples first for the phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs. So phrasal verb is basically two or three words that functions as a verb, one, as a verb incomplete, right? And it consists of a verb that is combined with preposition or adverb or both. Okay, so verb has to be there. It has one preposition or verb or adverb, right? Now look at this adverb, this phrasal verb. Drop out. Okay, drop is a verb, out is a preposition, right? Now, if you look at the literal meaning, it's like to drop something, and out is to go out, right? But no, this together means to quit a class or a school, right? I dropped out of science because it was so too difficult. Rohan dropped out of school because he couldn't afford the fees, right? So drop out is to quit something. And in most of the cases, we say drop out from a class or school, college, from any institution, basically. Okay. Yes, you don't say he dropped out from his job or from this organization. No, that is quitting, right? That is resigning, but not drop out. Drop out is when you leave a particular course. So phrasal verbs together, when a verb is combined with a preposition or adverb, it creates their own meaning, right? So it doesn't have a literal meaning, it has a meaning of its own. Okay, so it is different from what we read otherwise. Now, phrasal verb is used mostly in spoken English and informal English. They are less appropriate for formal English. So, informal, I mean, few phrasal verbs are used for uh, formal language also, but mostly this is used in informal and while speaking, right? Now, why you should know about these phrasal verbs? One, they are part of idioms. Okay, we will be doing idioms towards the end. So one, this is part of idiom, right? Phrasal verbs are definitely included there and they play a very major role, right? Second is it makes your language more friendly, and easy to understand, right? It makes it easy flowing too. So phrasal verbs basically makes your language interesting and informal, and it makes it friendly for the other person to understand. You don't have to, use so many words to explain something if you know the appropriate phrasal verb to use in that particular situation. Okay. Yes. So it is a easily substitute a string of a long words with a long phrasal verb. This makes your conversation more natural and fluent. Okay. So, and they're very interesting. I think you should learn as many as you can and use as many as you can, right? Because this will overall enhance your enhance the fluency of speaking, and it will make you more natural. Am I clear? This was quite easy. There was nothing much to explain here, except I'm going to give you some phrasal verbs here. If you look at your study material, page number 3.1, so how we have divided phrasal verbs for you is that you have phrasal verbs related to look. Like you have look after, look into, look out, look for, look through, look up to, look away. All the phrasal verbs that starts from look. Okay. Now you can look at this that every phrasal verb is attached with another preposition. Every verb is followed by a preposition and how the meaning changes. Like for example, look out. Look out. When I say look out, that means to look out. I'm saying be careful. Okay. Uh, so you should be aware of the danger. If I say look up, that doesn't mean look up. It means look up, research, search for more information, look up at the internet, look up at the book. So I'm using more words, right? Look up to. Now, see, this is such a good example. Look up and look up to. Now, if you see, I have verb, preposition, and other preposition, right? These two have totally different meanings, absolutely different meanings. Look up is when I'm asking you to research or look up for more information. Okay. Look up to is when I respect someone. I look up to him for my inspiration. I look up to him for the advice, right? So this is related to respect and to admire someone, right? Somebody who's your inspiration. And this one is to research more for information, right? So now you see how things change. Yes, right? And similarly, you have, mm, okay, look at this one. Take someone on and take someone out. Okay, now these two are different. Again, take someone out on is to hire somebody, right? Or to fight or compete against somebody. So there are two meanings to these things. This can be used in two situations. One is when you're hiring somebody, when you're employing somebody. The other thing is when you are fighting or competing against someone. But take someone out is to take somebody out for dinner, for a date, for movie, for coffee, anything. So when I say take someone out, that means to go for, coffee or, just go and hang around. But take someone on is to hire somebody. Why didn't you take someone on for this project? That means why didn't you hire somebody appropriate for this project? Right? So now you understand how things change and how the meaning of the words changes. Yes, this is very bare minimum phrases given to you. There's so many phrasal verbs given on internet or in the books you will find. Just go and look for it. Right? There's another kind of phrasal verb that you will look at. Bear with someone. One second. Okay. This is another list of words which is given pair with someone. That is to have patience with someone. Uh, to be all eyes, ready to watch. To be all ears is ready to listen. So these are some phrases that are used commonly in the long run. That means in the long term. I'm talking about in the long run. So when I say this information and these topics will help you in the long run, that means this will help you long term in your life ahead, right? You can bank on in him for this work. That means you can depend on him on this work, right? You can trust him for this work. Uh, I mean business, right? That means I'm very serious about what we are talking right now. When I say I mean business, it doesn't mean I'm going to have business with you. What I mean business means that I am very serious about what I am talking. Am I clear? Yes. Is everyone clear with phrasal verb? I think this was pretty much easy. There's nothing much to actually discuss, but we can definitely have some practice. Is it clear? Tanu, I've got your query. This you will get this. Okay. Now let's look at this exercise quickly. Oh, so I have besides what you have in your book or your study material, I have made about like 2 slides for the phrasal verbs. You can actually go and look up at it, and this has been explained with some examples here, some sentences, and how you use phrasal verbs. Okay, now let's look at this, how you use in the sentences. Let's look at, one second. Um, okay, let's look at this one. Drop in. Okay, drop in is to visit or usually on the way somewhere, right? So how you can use it in a sentence? Why don't you drop in to see us on your way home? Or why don't you drop in on Sunday for lunch? All right, so why don't you visit us for lunch? Right? Okay. Next is to end up. So end up is to, finally reach up to any situation or any state or any action. If you don't improve your work habits, you will end up being fired, right? If you do not clear this mess right now, you will end up in the mess, right? So end up is, this is how you can use these things in the Devendra, I know after the class you will get it. Okay. So this is a small exercise. There are about though there are quite 14 sentences that I have added here. I want you to quickly complete. The options are given to you for the phrasal verbs. Look, read the sentence and find the appropriate phrasal verb quickly. Let's do the exercise. Mhm. Are you guys done? Shall we discuss the answers? Okay, let's discuss. I see so many of you have already responded. Uh, okay. Yes. Why do you guys keep checking if your texts are reaching to me or not? Yes, I receive all the texts. Right. His father always taught him not to look down on those people with less. I told you look up to is to respect someone. So why would somebody's father teach his or her son to look not to respect someone with something that is less? So look down upon is that you should not, insult somebody and look at somebody like as if they don't have anything. Okay. Stop complaining and get on with your work. The boss wants you to hand in your figures for this month to him. Hand in is to submit. Hand out is to give out something. So boss wants you to hand in your figures for this month to him. We are going to have to put off our trip to Spain until September. That means to postpone. Put off is to postpone. I ran into Amit today at the supermarket. It was great to see him. I ran into. I'm so tired of Sophie showing off her engagement ring all the time. The police would not give in to the kidnapper's demand, right? So give up is to leave something, and give in is to, submit yourself and agree to what the other person is saying. Clear? So are we clear with the phrasal verbs? Do you want to do another seven exercise, which is of 7 sentences? Let's quickly do this and then take a break. There's another slide, another 7 sentences. Let's just quickly do this exercise. Great, Raman, and that you've received 7 out of 7. Very good. How many of you got all right, or 6 right at least? Good, Ruchi. Very good. Kanishka, very good. Your all answers were correct. I thought I would drop in for a cup of coffee. Is that okay? Drop in. I told you to visit someone. Drop off is to go. Have you ever come across such an unusual piece of art? It's important to show up on time. Show up is to reach somewhere and to be present somewhere. Dash your feet when walking. You don't want to trip. So uplift or lift up. It's lift up. You were actually telling somebody to lift up, not uplift. Uplift is to basically upgrade or grade someone from some position. Help somebody to rise up from a particular position. 3 are left. Quickly. The tree was blown up by the wind. Blown up means to destroy. He took off his hat to show me his new haircut. I just can't seem to get off this book. Like, I cannot leave this book. I just want to read and read and read. So this was it. This was the phrasal verbs. Let me know how many of you got this slide also right. And are you all done? All right, let's take a 5 minutes break. I will join you at 3:12 and we will quickly finish. There are 2 topics are only left. So we'll quickly finish those 2 topics also. and then we'll take up the revision or maybe the doubt session. All right. So 3:12, I will see you all here. All right, welcome back. I'm glad, Amritpal, that you have got all 12. Actually, it was 14, not 12, but all correct. Very good. Mm, okay, so there was quite a few of you who have got all correct, all sentences correct. That's great. So we are clear with prefix and suffix, and are we clear about the phrasal verbs? Quite easy topics. Yes, right. So let's move on to collocations now. Hang on. Okay, so now collocations. Now, collocations are actually the group of two or more words that usually go together. Okay, now go together means that they are usually used together. You are so used to of using those words together, like making a bed, doing the dishes, give someone advice, doing homework, saving time. So basically, you know that this particular verb will be used with this particular noun or adverb or an adjective. Okay, so whenever you combine such words and they're used, naturally they're used together, they're called collocations. Clear? Okay, now what does that mean in details? If I say to make the bed, I need to make the bed every day, right? Let me share the screen. 1 second. To make the bed, I need to make the bed every day. So you use this phrase for making your bed always. You don't use anything else for the bed, right? Next is if you say to do homework, can you use any other, do you use any other phrase for this? No, you don't, right? If I say feel free, this is collocation because this is how we use these words. Okay, to save time. Now, these are all the collocations because these are group of words that are used together, right? This is one thing about collocations. Okay. Uh, meaning together, or location or meaning place. Collocations are words that are located together. So co is when it's something that together. Now, why you should learn collocations is that your language will be more natural and more easily understood. So these collocations everybody understand because they're so commonly used group of words. So yeah, language becomes more natural, right? And easily understood. If you see all of these things, these are part of the natural or daily conversation or daily English. This is why we say this will help you to make conversation natural, this will make your conversation natural, because everything together is part, everybody uses them naturally. They might not know that they are using collocations specifically, but they are using these things, right? People who are not from the language industry, or they are not from the background of English, or maybe they have not studied English in details, but they are still using these things, right? You are in a learning stage, so we are teaching you with the specific topics, and this is called collocations. You might be using already, or you might not be using it, but everyone in general uses that. Okay. You will have alternative and richer ways of expressing yourself. So you have, alternative, and you get an idea to express yourself in a richer, or, you express yourself in a better way. It's easier for our brains to remember and use language in chunks or blocks rather than single words. So it's easier to remember also. For a brain, scientifically, it's easier to absorb and then to use this language. Besides that, there are few points given in your book. It helps to adhere to a proper pre-decided structure of language. You stick to the pre-decided structure of language, right? So there's chance or there's room of making mistakes is less. Aids in giving other better forms of presentation of words, enhances language skills and leads to innovation. To some extent, it beautifies the language. All of it combined together, uh, you basically, it enhances your language. Okay. uh, Sir, uh, can I just take 2 minutes break? Okay, guys, I'll just join you back in 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm going to. Sorry, some emergency. All right. So, yes. So I just said that, it's easier for us also to remember the language in chunks and blocks rather than single words. So if you know that you have to make your bed, I mean, this collocation altogether is very easy to remember also. And it comes natural to you every day because it's used every day. Now, how to learn collocations, right? Be aware of collocations and try to recognize them when you see or hear them. So whenever be aware of collocations means that you should know some, you should study some collocations, and you should try to recognize them when you see or hear them. Treat collocations as a single block of language. Think them as individual blocks blocks or chunks, and learn strongly support, not strongly support. So, basically, you should treat those phrase or those group of words as single block of language, not individuals, right? Don't remember them in chunks. Remember them together. If you're using strongly support, that means strongly support is together, not two separate words, right? When you learn a new word, write down other words that collocate with it. Remember rightly, remember distinctly, remember vaguely, remember vividly. So whenever you learn a new word, write down along with the, and you try to make collocations out of it and see how many collocations can you derive out of it. Like if you see in this case with remember, you can use rightly, distinctly, vaguely, vividly. Okay, read as much as possible, revise what you learn regularly. Needless to say, I think this I've been repeating again and again. Learn collocations in group that work for you. You could learn them by topic, time, number, weather, money, family, or by a particular word. Take action, take a chance, take an exam. What it means is that you can remember collocations related to time, maybe number, weather, money, family, or by particular word. By particular word, just the same way we did phrasal verbs. So you have all the phrasal verbs with starting with look, give. This separately, the table has been made. You can find information or collocations in any good learner's dictionary. You can also find specialized dictionaries in collocations, right? And these days you have internet, so you can just easily find anything. Now we have types of collocations. Type of collocations means that you have the types of combinations of collocations. Okay, it could be adverb plus adjective, adjective plus noun, noun plus noun, noun plus verb, verb plus noun, verb plus expression with prepositions, verb plus adverb, right? So these are the group of types of collocation that we can see. Now, for example, look at this. Adverb plus adjective, completely satisfied, right? Not downright satisfied, all right? So, I mean, you have to see what combinations you are making, right? You cannot make any combination. This is why if you see in the brackets, we have written not, because you cannot combine anything and everything. It should make sense also, no? Right? So this is one example, but in details, let's study from here. Adverb plus adjective. Invading that country was an utterly stupid thing to do. So utterly is adverb, stupid is adjective. Utterly stupid. Now you can use many sentences with utterly stupid. Uh, how could you do this? This was utterly stupid of you to do that, right? We entered a richly decorated room. Right now, richly decorated means something which is decorated in a very rich or a royal manner, right? Yesterday, so we went for a holiday and we stayed at a hotel which was quite richly decorated. Are you fully aware of the implications of your actions? Now, fully aware is used very commonly. Are you fully aware of what you're going to do? um, I am fully aware about the consequences or repercussions of this project, right? So when you are aware about something, right? So utterly stupid, ritually decorated, fully. These are few examples, and besides that, if you want few more examples, okay. So next is adjective plus noun. The doctor ordered him to take regular exercise. Now we are talking about the adjective plus noun, regular exercise, maiden voyage, excruciating pain. Excruciating pain. Noun plus noun, round of applause. Ceasefire agreement, bars of soap. These are all noun plus noun. What is please stop it? Phrasal verb is starts from a verb for sure. Himanshu, I'm glad that you asked me this question. How to differentiate between collocations and phrasal verbs? Phrasal verb will have verb at least and prepositions mostly, uh, combined with maximum adverb and nothing else. But here you have different combinations. You don't have a verb specific, and there is no verb actually here. There is verb, but not every time you need to have verb. So this is how you differentiate, right? Ceasefire, bars of soap, noun plus verb. The lion started to roar when it heard the dog barking. So now dog barking. Snow was falling, bomb went off. These are all noun verb collocations. Verb plus noun, where verb comes in front and then noun. Committing murder, do my homework, making my bed, give a presentation. Verb plus expression with preposition. Had run out of money, filled with horror, burst into tears, drive anybody to crime. Right? So this, I think, you will learn as along with your practice. I mean, this is not something that you can just learn, or we can give you some particular table to ratify everything. No, this slowly and steadily you will start when you read, you'll notice that there are few words that come together always, and that is when you start recognizing collocations. Another difference for phrasal verbs and collocations. Now, if in phrasal verbs, when those words are combined together, they have a separate meaning. Here, if you notice, there is no separate meaning to it. It's just that these words are used together. Are you getting my point? I'll repeat. In phrasal verbs, how to find a difference between a phrasal verb and collocation. That is a main difference. In phrasal verbs, the combination of words have a separate, different meaning altogether. They don't have a literal meaning. But in collocations, you don't have any different meanings. It's just that some words are used together, right? It just comes naturally together, but the meaning is not different from the literal meaning. If dogs are barking, dogs are barking. It is not implying to something else. It doesn't mean anything else. It simply means the dogs are barking. Plane took off. Now, plane took off. There is no hidden meaning to it. It is simple. Okay, so it is as simple as to understand that plane took off. Clear? So, are we clear till here? I hope now I was able to answer and justify that what's the difference between collocations and this thing. Okay. Now, verb plus noun. Committing murder, do my homework, making my bed, give a presentation. Now, these words are used together. I gave my presentation yesterday. Present verb plus expression with preposition. Had run out of money, filled with horror. She burst into tears. So you have a preposition with expression and a verb, right? Verb plus adverb. Placed gently, whispered softly, vaguely remember. Okay, whenever there is a verb plus adverb. Now I want you to quickly make collocations. Okay, I want you to quickly make the collocations using the words given above. Now, these are those collocations which you use so commonly, and you might have two or more than one combination for all the words. Can we discuss the answer and move on to idioms? All right, let's start. Get lost, take a shower, make a fortune, get ready, take a picture of someone, uh, take a suggestion or give a suggestion, get started, make friends, do no harm, take a break or get a break. All right, this was, I think, quite easy. So I'm sure you've understood what collocations are. Now let's come on to the last part, which is the most interesting part of vocabulary, that is idioms, right? Now, idioms are the group of words that have a certain meaning attached to it. Idioms are, they are passed on from generation to generation. They're used to make your expression more creative and more beautiful. It takes a figurative meaning, which is different from literal meaning. The words don't have any literal meaning. It has altogether a different meaning. Now, phrasal verbs also have different meaning. I told you when I was teaching phrasal verbs that phrasal verbs are part of idioms, right? Phrasal verbs are used as verbs, right? They have a meaning, but idioms have a deeper meaning attached to it, right? Using of idioms adds a flavor and a style to your expression and whatever you're writing, whatever you're speaking. Not only shows the person's knowledge about language, but also puts forward the thought more convincingly. So it does not even not only show the knowledge, but it makes the other person believe you and convinces the somebody more. Important aspect to know the idioms, their meanings, and their usage. Now, what is the important aspect of idiom and their meaning and their usage? You need to learn about the idioms, you need to know their meanings, and then you should third know how to use them in a sentence. Right now, what does that mean? Let's look at my screen. Okay. And if you think that you can read a sentence and find out the meaning of the idiom, trust me, you won't be correct all the time, right? It's a little difficult to just guess the meaning of an idiom. Generally, it's always different from the words written, right? For example, cloud nine. Now, cloud nine means to feel happy, right? It's an expression for happy. She was on cloud nine after receiving a hefty raise. She was on cloud nine after seeing her good result, right? Like she was extremely happy. Next, under the weather. Now, under the weather means that somebody is feeling sick or sad. I'm going to stay in bed because I am feeling under the weather. These are very common idioms that are used. So I am going to stay in bed because I am feeling under the weather. Right? Now, if I give you an example, spill the beans. What does this mean? Can you guess the meaning of this phrase, this thing? Can you judge the, or can you find out the meaning? Can you tell me the meaning of this idiom? Spill the beans. Spill the beans, cost an arm and leg, driving me nuts, and hold your horses. To reveal a secret, right? uh, i told I told Ria not to tell uh, about my job to anyone, but she spilled the beans in front of my college friends, right? That means she just told my secret. Cost an arm and leg. That means I'm talking about something which is very expensive. So if I want to use it, and instead of saying that the car is so expensive, I can say the car is going to cost me an arm and a leg. That means it is so expensive that I cannot even think to buy, right? Driving me nuts, that I'm extremely annoyed and frustrated. The kids are driving me nuts, right? So the from the literal meaning, it's totally different. It's like being greatly frustrated and annoyed. Hold your horses. I'm not telling anyone to control their horses. I'm telling someone to stop or wait, right? Before, I mean, if there's somebody who's speaking too much. If somebody's speaking too much and I want somebody to just stop being so over excited and just to stop talking, I can just say, hold your horses and listen to me, right? Okay, so this is what idioms are, right? You can use idioms for your article writing, for your presentations, for your boardroom discussions. It shows that you have a good command over language. And trust me, use of idioms actually makes you look very smart. Okay. If you can master this, this is going to be the biggest hurdle to cross in language and vocabulary. You will be, at some other level if you learn to use idioms. So go through the list of idioms, try to use it. There's so many idioms that you can use in your daily life, right? There's so many idioms that can be used in offices, in work, related to the work. So learn about them, right? For example, there's a very small list of idioms given in your study material, but you can look for more and you can start learning and start using them. uh, and in your exam you or mostly get a question from idioms. Okay. Other fish to fry. For example, I have other fish to fry. Okay. Other fish to fry mean that I have another important work to do. Okay. If I say, quickly get done with this, we have another fish to fry. right? That means I'm saying that whatever task we're doing right now, we need to quickly finish this because we have another important task to do. Not just another task, but important task to do, right? Uh, Man of straw. Man of straw is used for some people who have no substance. When I say no substance, that means they are good for nothing. They don't do anything. They don't keep up promises. So you don't need to believe this some person. So I can say it's just, Rohan is man of straw. Don't believe him, right? That means I mean, he's good for nothing, right? So whatever he says, do not believe. It's totally false. Beat around the bush. So I can say, I don't have much time to beat around the bush. Let's just get to the point. That means let's not go here and there and stop wasting our time. Let's just talk about the main topic. Okay, I don't have time to waste to talk about other things and going here and there. The ball is in your court, right? I have taken my decision to not to take up that project. So now the ball is in your court. That means that I'm telling you that now that project will be yours. So you decide for yourself what you want. I won't be taking up this project. All right. So this was about idioms. Is there any doubts that you have about idioms? Should we start practicing quickly? No, spill the beans is not separate the beans. Like I said, there's a particular meaning that is attached to it. Blessing in disguise, very good when something turns out to be very good for you. All right, let's quickly look at this exercise. They're about like what? Some questions, some 10, 12 questions. The way I have framed these questions, you mostly get questions in a similar way, the vocabulary questions. He has a gift of gab. Yes, I will, Abhishek. Yes, I will upload all of this. Once in a blue moon, very good, Mitra. Apple of an eye. Yes, very good. All right, I want you to quickly start doing these exercises. Okay. Can I keep discussing the answers also side by side? It's easier. Yes, most of you got the answer right. It is he's a good conversationalist. That means he's good. He speaks well. He's fluent. He is ready. He's smart. Yes, a bone of contention is a cause of quarrel or dispute. Once in a blue moon, very seldom indeed. Very good, Mitra. Yes, the third one, very seldom indeed. Very seldom. Seldom means very often. All right, next. All right. So for the fourth, it's avoid starvation. For the fifth, it is to apologize humbly. It's isolated. His arrogant behavior with others has left me high and dry, without resources or without any help. Next. All right, guys, let's be quick. It is to celebrate noisily in public places, painted the town red. The chairman pulled a long face that needs to be annoyed, to be angry. Next, the fair and square policy of the chairman of the committee has made him very popular. Fair and square. Honest. There are actually two idioms here, a fair weather friend. But yes, we will be talking about just this one. So you can use two, this thing also, two idioms in the same sentence. Okay, so now to find out the answer for this one, you should know about fair weather friend also. So weather friend is a friend whom you cannot trust, you cannot rely upon in the difficult times. So a fair weather friend always try to fish in troubled waters of his friends and benefactors to get benefit in the bad situation. All right, so are we clear how we can use idioms and how it can make any sentence good? Uh, Very good. There were so many of you got the correct answer. All right, so this was it. I hope the chapter number 3 is clear to you guys. Is there any problem, anything that you want me to explain you, any doubts that you still have, tell me. And of course, I will talk or, I will have a chat for the revision classes. I'm not promising it right now, but I'll definitely try to. And next, now you will have a chapter 8 and chapter 11 sessions with me. So chapter 2 and 3, I hope it was clear to you. For the PPTs and MCQs, I will get them uploaded today. Don't worry, so you can practice. Now, quickly tell me if everything is clear to you. How was today's session? Yes. Pranjali, yes, the answer would be let the culprits be brought. Yes, that's the correct answer. Let the culprits be. So you will bring the culprits. That means you are commanding someone. So you will use then the subject comes, and then you change bring into you will add be and the third form of bring. I will, the no. High and dry is isolated. Loan words are the words that are picked from the foreign languages and used as it is. You don't change it. You just use it as it is and take it as a part of your own language. Shubhi, complement is just a word that completes the meaning for a subject, object, or a verb. It's just a word that is added in the end to complete the meaning. If I say Kamla is pretty, I'm just completing something about subject here. So pretty is not an object here. Pretty is complement here. Of course, pretty is not complement, no. Miss Monica is an English teacher. Now, I'm telling you something about the subject here. These are complement. Then, if I say I consider Indian television negative, I'm telling you something about the object that becomes a complement of the object. So, whenever you give an extra information about something, this Sushma gave Shelly my chocolate, right? So, you're giving some extra information about what gave chocolate. So, becomes a compliment. That's it, nothing else. It's very easy. I did not want to confuse you guys, so I did not touch it at that time. Nikita, I have spent a lot of time in collocations. I would suggest you to go through the PPT, this video again. So, collocations is basically the group of words that's used together in a natural language. You have different combinations for collocations, so you can go through that. I am glad that the concepts were clear to you. Do fill the feedback form the way you've been writing such good things to me. I hope all the doubts have been answered. So, just some tips while writing examination of this chapter. Rangna, for this chapter, you just need to practice. There is no set. See, for the chapter number 2, also, you have some rules that you need to remember. But for vocabulary, there is no set of rules, right? You just need to practice as much as you can. Mostly, you get questions from synonyms, antonyms, and idioms. Mostly, okay? But it could be different also. Vocabulary chapter, you can only make it perfect with your practice. So just try to find out some list of idioms, some list of synonyms and antonyms that you should know, some commonly used words, and that is how you can improve for this chapter. Vinay, please go through the PPTs and the session for this. Subhash, I've answered this for Ragna's query. All right, Simran, you're welcome. Okay, so shall we call it a day? If there are no more doubts, I'll wait for another 2 minutes. If there are no more doubts, then we will just go. No more doubts? All right. So, Subhash, read them, then it will be fine. All right. So, bye bye to everyone. I will see you on 5th and 6th now, and we will be recruiting chapter number 8. So, have a great sessions ahead. I want you to practice chapter 2 and 3, not for your exams, but for your own renewal for your life. This is going to go a very long run with you, right? All right. Take care. See you guys.